Before we get into the post-Super Bowl game analysis, I wanted to read a Bible verse. So the Bible verse is 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24 to 27. It says, "Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable. So I do not run aimlessly. I do not box as one beating the air, but I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified." So I'm assuming everyone watched the game last week, or almost everyone. And so we all know that Super Bowl history was made because we went into overtime. We as in people watching from home. And, time has a funny way of becoming more valuable as it's running out. During the first half of the game, our friends just went all out. They had a taco truck and a video game truck for the kids to basically go play in and be occupied. And so in the first half of the game, I was walking around just like eating tacos and shooting the breeze with people. But by the third quarter, kind of when it looked like the Falcons were going to take it, that was kind of a lull. But somehow, by the end of the fourth quarter, everyone was glued to the television, and we were experiencing Super Bowl history. And it was just funny how there was such a big change in just how critical those minutes and seconds were between the beginning and the end of the game. In terms of our faith journey, hard transition, we're all in different stages of our spiritual walk. And some of us are still not in the game. Some of us are still warming up. We're just happy to have made it to the Super Bowl, and that seems to be okay because of, figuratively speaking, what Christ has done for us. Others of us are playing for the glory of the game. We're doing well for ourselves. Our affairs are in order. We are winning. In the president's words, so much winning that maybe we've become bored of winning. And so, that's where others of us are. And then there are those who are playing for the love of the game. And that's what I love about GC2. There are so many players in that game. There are so many people that faithfully serve and have been serving over the years. And that's what makes, GC2 so great. And that's why I think a lot of our families have been here for so long, because we have so many players in the game. It's different. It's different when you're playing for the love of the game. And when I say love, I mean, in biblical context, love in terms of the Great Commission and the Great Commandment. When you're playing in that context, it's never just a one and done. It's not, hey, we made it to the Super Bowl, it was a good season, and you just kind of stop talking about it and stop thinking about it after the big game. No, it's the complete opposite. You're talking about the postseason. Who are you going to basically, bring onto the team for next year? You're talking about strategy. You're talking about the preseason. You're talking about next year. It's not something that starts and stops. It's something that's a way of life. It's a routine. It's basically how you walk and talk. It's how you breathe. And so as we think about and get ready for Pastor's message this morning about love, I wanted to just use that metaphor and kind of get us thinking in terms of, are we playing the game as though we are in overtime and the entire game depends on the outcome of these final minutes? Another hard transition, and then I'll hand the mic, I'll put the mic down. The affairs of a person who realizes that time is limited is drastically different from someone who thinks that time is not limited. And so, we tend to value, and I work in finance, so we tend to value everything in dollars. Everything's in dollars. You've heard of the time value of money. We tend to think about everything in terms of dollars, but the currency that is valuable in eternity are these supernatural things that you could never assign a price tag to here on earth. These are the supernatural things like faith, hope, and love. We've got these banners up here that say believe, belong, become. And those three supernatural things are all defined by those three life journeys. The Super Bowl is probably so popular because it captures all three of those in terms of drama, excitement, build-up, outcome, unknown, adventure. It's all captured in that, and it's captured in our life stories as well. I I find myself constantly checking my bank balance to see if the bills are being paid. I'm looking at cash flow. It's kind of sick because I do it for work, but I'm also still thinking about it in my free time. And so the question that I want to leave you with this morning to think about is, what is the status of our spiritual bank account in terms of faith dollars, hope dollars, and love dollars? Because that is the currency that God has told us is the currency that is valuable in eternity, that will never lose its value. And so I leave you with that to think about. And think about in the context of our ministries, how we interact, how we treat each other, the people in our circles. Some of us might be in a season where we're looking at our spiritual bank account thinking, man, I keep writing checks that my relationships can no longer cash. Top Gun throwback little blurb. And other of us might be experiencing compound interest, right? We're all in different seasons. And so when we think about 2017 and the things that we're doing as we play the game, let's think about how we are investing in this future currency for eternity. And with that, I'll hand it over to Luke.